This is 7th grade 1.7, which is page 37 in your book. A problem-solving plan is 1.7. You can go through the key vocabulary with me. The key vocabulary has 4 words that are very important in math. They are the words for the operations, the 4 basic operations of math, which is add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So sum. Get my pen to work again. The pen and I don't get along very well. There it is, right. Oh, it's not working because my tablet went off. So here we go. We have, there it is over there. Right here we have sum is the word for addition. Okay, difference is that fancy word for subtraction. Product means to multiply. And quotient means to divide. And sometimes I'll see they'll use these words. Instead of an addition sign, it'll say, what is the sum of 7 and 5? What is the difference of 7 and 5? What is the product of 7 and 5? What is the quotient? So if you don't know what those mean, then you don't know the right operation to do. So it's very important to understand those words and that key vocabulary, especially in problem solving, which most of the time the problems are in words and you have to switch them and make problems out of them. So let's look at example number 1, which is on page 37. It's marching band. Your school's marching band can play up to 14 minutes at the halftime show. The band must choose 3 songs from the table, and one of the songs must be the school song. What songs can the band play? So you can see there's 4 choices. They have to play the school song. So that's one of those that's immediate. So when we're trying to do this, we need to come up with a plan. Problem solving helps us plan. So to solve the promises, we need to make sure we understand the problem. And then we're going to make a plan. So we understand that we can only play so many songs. So what do we know? We know that the marching band can play for 14 minutes. And the table gives us the playing time for the songs, so you got to choose 3 songs and 1 has to be the school song. What do we need to find out? Well, we need to find out what songs can we play? What combinations of songs can the marching band play? So in example number 1, we're going to make a plan. How can you relate what you know to what you want to find out? And in this case, we got to figure out how much time is left after the school song. So it says list all the possible combinations of 2 songs, excluding the school song, and the time it takes to play them. Identify the combinations that fit. So let's go through how many minutes long is the school song. So we look at the table, and up there at the top, the school song is 3 minutes long. Okay, well that's easy enough. So let's go to the next question. How many minutes does this leave for playing the other 2 songs? Well, remember in the given information we have 14 minutes to play, so 14 minus 3 is 11 minutes. Okay, so you're writing, this is the guided practice numbers 1 and number 2. So you're writing down these answers with me. Example number 2, so to solve the marching band problem from the previous page, you need to carry out the plan from example 1 and then check the answer. So I'm carrying out the plan. Because of the school song requirement, there are 11 minutes for playing the other 2 songs. Make a list of all the combinations of 2 songs and the time it takes to play them. So notice they put A and B together, A and C, A and D, B, C, B, D, C, D. They went through and they found all the combinations that they could. They added up the total time for those, and notice that 2 of them it says look for combinations that have a total playing time less than or equal to 11 minutes. They can't go over 14 minutes. It didn't say they couldn't be under 14 minutes. They just can't go over. So the marching band can play the school song and either A and B, A and C, B and C, or C and D. None of those will put them over the 14 minutes. Song C is the shortest song and D the longest song, so it makes sense that song C appears the most often and song D appears least often. So the answer seems reasonable. So what if, in example 2, suppose song C is 6 minutes long, what songs can the marching band play with the school song? So you look out and see if it's 6 minutes long, pen going again here. So if they played A see, A and B, they didn't change, so they could still play A and B because they didn't change the songs, and that one was okay before. A and C now, A is 6 minutes plus C, which would be 6 minutes. That would be 12 plus the 3 for the school song, so that one would be out. We couldn't do that one. And any of them with C, that's gonna, let's see if that'll put them over. They couldn't do, let's try B and C. Okay, B is 5 minutes, and C is now 6 minutes. That would be 11. So they can do that, because 11 plus 3, that'd still be the 14. So they can do B and C, and they can do A and B. And let's see, they couldn't do any others. That's it. So I just went through and checked through the list, put the combinations, see if it goes over the 14 minutes. If it doesn't, then you're good to go. Okay, I want to back up a second here to say, let me continue this and back up a slide. I want to go over the key concept box on the bottom of page 38 with you guys. It's a problem-solving plan, and I want you to write this in your notes whenever you're doing problem solving. I know these seem easy, but you know, we try to explain something that's a little bit harder on easy problems, and hopefully that will make it easy. So this is a problem-solving plan, so I want you to write this in your notes. So when you see this, number one, you should always, in a problem solving, is you should read it and understand. Now I'm telling you that in reading, that might entail or might mean that you read it more than once. Sometimes I read a problem the first time just to read it. And then I go back and I read it again to pick out what do I need. I try to really understand it then. So don't be, and sometimes I have to read a problem 3, 4, 5, 6 times. I just keep reading it and reading it before I totally understand what it's saying. Number 2, you're going to make a plan. Your plan is basically, how am I going to solve it? How am I going to go about finding the answer? Number 3, you're going to solve the problem. You're going to use that plan that you came up with, and you're going to solve the problem. And always, always, when you're checking, you're always going to look back after you're done. Okay, when you get an answer, you're going to say, okay, does that answer make sense? Is that answer reasonable? It's very important, like if you're, let's say you're balancing your checkbook, and you kind of know how much money you usually have, and maybe you threw in an extra 0, and it shows you had, way more, like, whoa, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. So you always look back and see that your answers are going to make sense. So that is your problem-solving plan, and you're going to use that to help you finish 1.7. So that, I think, is it for 1.7. That's it. So we are done. We'll see you next time.